Okay, just begin. So now I'll share the screen.
Okay. First of all, thanks a lot, everyone, for taking out time on this Saturday morning for obviously for AI, and that's what we are here for. You are, today gonna we are talk about AI. How do you start your journey around AI, and how can we, as an organization, as a group of individuals, AI Infinity, help you to begin this journey of AI. Okay, very quickly we will move over, but before that, right, who are we, right? What is AI Infinity? That's very important, I believe, and that's where we will spend few minutes in here to start and understand who are we, and then we will jump onto the agenda of the day. This is going to be a 1 hour session, almost 1 hour session, where we're going to be looking at a lot of practical things today. We're going to see how things turn out and what is the value proposition when we talk about AI in the market. Right from an individual who is starting his career in the IT industry, right from there to a professional who's working today in a different domain but wants to switch over in the AI domain. How easy it is, and how flexibly you can change or switch gears from what you're doing today into what you want to do tomorrow. With that being said, I will take this moment to introduce ourselves first, and that's where we'll move on to the next slide. So AI Infinity is a group of experts in cognitive automation. So there are two words that you would see on the screen: cognitive and automation. So we do deal with RPA and AI as a set of technologies and the technical offerings that we have, and that's where our group tries to provide these services to our clients, the global clients that we deal with day in day out. We started off way back in 2015, almost 6 years since then. We have our expertise around project consulting, delivery, execution, and training as well. Obviously, most of the half of the times, goes on in project consulting, right? And consulting with clients, understanding their business requirement, and giving them the right suggestion and solution around it. And obviously that's where you meet our team today. So I believe so we have Preeti today with us. She is a certified data scientist and also RPA consultants of around 6 years of experience. I am Raj. I'm a sales engineer, and I also work in the field of AI and RPA both. um, uh, and I'm also going to be helping you guys out today and the coming sessions as well. We have Avinash today as well with us. Avinash is our people's champion. He's our expert in human resources, and that's where Avinash comes with 7 years of experience in this field, right from scratch. And that's where this team is gonna help you guys out today. Priti, I see you are on mute. If you wanna unmute yourself, and yeah. Okay, so as I said, right, AI Infinite is a team of freelancers. Obviously, we deal with cognitive automation. We work on technologies like RPA, AI, machine learning, and obviously we do this end-to-end consulting journey. So we do have internship opportunities. We do have project opportunities that we provide to our our things, and we will discuss more about that as well. As we move forward. Okay, some feedback from our students. You could see, their names and what they do. One of the students that the top one that you see, Mahesh, his feedback was, he previously took the course from Simply Learn for AI, but he was not very satisfied. We onboarded him into our course, and he was able to get this practical approach of learning with AI Infinity, and that's where today he is able to implement the AI from scratch into his own business problems. We have another student, Shruti, obviously working at Volkswagen, and for her, the live hands-on gave her the confidence and the understanding around AI, and that's what we try to offer. We try to build your confidence around these offerings, and we try to make sure that you are yourself enabled to take a business problem from scratch, analyze it, understand it, and do the different kind of analysis that you want to perform, and then go ahead and start solving that problem in different ways, obviously not just one way. And that's what is the key of achieving this whole journey. So those were a few feedbacks from our earlier students. I'll pass this over to Preeti. Before that, very quickly, we have a very short agenda today. We will talk about what is AI, what are the different kind of AI technologies that we deal with, some demos, and post that, obviously, what's in it for you. Over to you, Preeti.
Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, I we can now.
So you are able to see the slide, right?
Yes, we can see this slideshow.
And it's appearing in full screen.
Yes, please go ahead, Preeti.
Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining in today's webinar on this Saturday. And Raj has given a bit background of ourselves, what we are, and some feedback from our students, to which we have teached AI, and that was quite promising for us and even for them. So before moving ahead, I would request everyone to kindly mute yourself. I see there is a noise coming from background, and the guidelines for this webinar to flow it smoothly is to keep yourself on mute.
I'll try to mute all. Just give me a moment. Okay, we should be good now.
Yeah, thank you so much. So our sessions outline what we want to tell you today is some basics about AI, the definitions, what are the types of AI, and we will be looking at some interesting demos today. So let's begin with it. So when it comes to AI, so there are certain definitions like this which you can see on the screen. Even if you read, like, it is a bit complicated to understand, but AI is a way where what we are trying to achieve is we are trying to add intelligence to the computers or to the softwares around us. Now, how this intelligence we are going to add? So that's when the different types of AI falls under. So AI is a way where we are artificially adding intelligence to our computers, to our softwares, making them more intelligent, more like human. They cannot be exactly like human, but at least a bit like human, like the cognitive thinking or decision making. And then we will be able to, so that we will be able to use them for automation or other things to make our life easier. So AI refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines, and which are programmed by different methodologies, we if we know, and we will be discussing about them, what all methodologies are there.
Right. This is more of a textbook definition that we're looking at, but don't worry, we are going to try simplifying this as in the next slides as well.
Yeah. So so far, if someone asks you what is artificial intelligence, then you can just simply say that it is a methodology, or it is a science, or it is a technique where we are making the computers or softwares intelligent by programming. And then if we try to simplify machine learning versus the traditional programming. So can you see my pointer moving around on the screen, Raj?
Yep.
Mouse. Okay, thank you. So the traditional programming which we had been doing, if you get a chance to do, or like if you had certain idea that we will be having our data, and based on that, we will, first of all, you will be having some problem to solve. Then only you will be doing something around it. So if you have been a computer software engineer, or if you not have not, even it's like we are trying to solve a problem. So we have a problem. What we will do with it, we will have some data about the problem, and then we will try to build some logic around to solve that problem, right? So that's what we called it, like how the traditional programming works. You don't need to know the loops and all, anything like that at this moment. I'm just giving you a glimpse of what traditional programming is. That you have the data, you have a problem for which you have the data, then you will be writing some logic for it to solve the problem based on the data which you have. Then if you are using a computer, then you will be passing it, and then you will be getting a result, right? So suppose if I want to create I have a list of numbers, roll numbers, and I want to just get the even numbers out of it. So I can just take, I have the data, I have 100 students data, then I have the data, I just need to write a logic to find out the even number. So if I divide the roll numbers by 2, and if the remainder is 0, then I can say it is an even number. And that's going to be my logic. And that logic I can apply it on computer, if I'm like, if I have certain background, or else I can just use a pen paper to do that, and I'll be able to get the result. So that is the traditional programming, where you have the data, you have the logic, you are building the logic, and then you are using that, and you are finding the result. Okay, out of 100 there were 40 students whose roll number was even. Now when it comes to machine learning, we are talking about machine learning right now, not AI. So AI and machine learning, people get confused into that also, we will come into that, but just now please focus on machine learning. So when we talk about machine learning, what's happening here is we have the sample data. I have a problem. Suppose I have a problem. Let's take the same problem where I have 100 students roll number. I want to filter the even roll numbers out of it. So I have the data with me. Let's suppose I have some imaginary data right now, and I have the expected result. The expected result is I want the even numbers. I'll say that, okay, 100 are the total roll numbers, and the expected result is 40 even roll numbers. So sample data, that is going to my, I'm giving you my input data, that is 100 rows, and the expected output is 40 rows, that is 40 of them are even. I'm passing you both of it, input and the output, to the computer. Then it will be building a model. That is the logic behind it. So here I didn't write the logic of that roll number percent divided by 2 gives me a remainder of 0. I didn't do anything here. I just gave the data. I gave the input data like how we did here. I also gave the what I want. I want 40 rows of data based on the input. And then I passed it to computer. Computer created a logic to it. And then that logic will be used with the new data, and then you'll be able to find the result.
So, just to add over there, when we talk about traditional programming, we create the rules ourselves. We create the logic ourselves. When we talk about machine learning, that's where the machine creates the rules for you, and you don't have to create the logics around it, right? And that's the typical difference between a traditional programming and machine learning. In traditional programming, we are aware what needs to be done, and that is why we are able to write the rules. But when we talk about machine learning is used to solve those problems where human brain fails. You have millions of records of data, and for solving millions of records of data, you need to write 10 million different kind of logics. That is humanly impossible. And that is where in machine learning, what we do is we take the input, we take the output, pass it to the computer. The machine learning model is created, and the model is nothing but permutations and combination of different logics, different business rules, or any kind of relationships between the data that is there, that gives you the respective output. So the machine learns from the samples and tells itself that, okay, hey, sample ABC tells me XYZ, and then so on. And that's where the machine learns from the data that you provided. You don't have to give it the rules. It will itself find out the rules from the data that you have given in. And that's the key benefit of machine learning as compared to traditional programming approaches. Okay, let's move on.
Yep. So here, if you see, let's focus on the left side of the screen. You can see there is a image where we have artificial intelligence, and there are several fields attached to it. There is robotics, then there is machine learning, there is deep learning, then neural networks, and there is computer vision. So when someone says that I'm using artificial intelligence, they may be basically referring to any one of these: the blue circle, the green circle, or the pink circle. So artificial intelligence has several types. These are the types of artificial intelligence. So we have robotics, like the hardware robots. You must have been seeing it a lot these days. So they are also part of artificial intelligence because they had been programmed to act more intelligent. So they are also part of it. Robotics can be hardware and can be software as well. Uh, and there is a part of it where which is called computer vision. So this is majorly aligned with images and what we are trying to do with them. And computer vision is a very hot part of artificial intelligence these days, and a lot of things are happening around computer vision. So like detecting the lane while driving, all these things are part of computer vision. There are several libraries which fall for computer vision. So if anything is related to image or maybe 3D image or 2D image, that is going to be computer vision, where there will be using intelligence, of course, by programming and by algorithms. And then we have this part. I think machine learning, you must have heard of it, and we also discussed it in the last slide, that we are giving the input and output, and then we are getting the logic from the computer, or we also call it as a model. So machine is learning based on the data. That is machine learning. And then we have a deep learning. Deep learning is also a part of, we can say, machine learning itself, because they are doing the same thing but in a different way. That's why it has fallen under this umbrella. So deep learning is a different way of learning. So if in short I can tell you, so it is like related to how the human brain works, as we have neurons in our mind and how they are connected to each other. And if you search on Google, you will be able to see how a connected kind of a framework, and that's deep learning, says that we have several neurons, several data which are connected to each other, and they are learning through that. Whereas machine learning, as we saw, it is just related to data. And but in deep learning, there is a very level of parsing of data happens in the structure of it. And the neural network is also a part of deep learning. So basically you can say machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, robotics are mainly part of it. But if you look at other examples also, you'll be able to find more kind of types of AI. They can be like machine learning falls in supervised learning, and there are unsupervised examples as well.
So to add on to this slide, right? When we talk about artificial intelligence, we are trying to make an artificial or artificially intelligent system. How do we make artificially intelligent systems? Is with a combination of multiple techniques and technologies like robotics, computer vision, machine learning, deep learning, and others. So when someone says, I know AI, you should ask them from today onwards that what kind of AI do you work with? Do you work with computer vision? Are you into machine learning or deep learning or robotics? That will give you a clear picture of what are you discussing around. Now, when we say AI, it has different subsets, and every subset is for doing different kind of things. Now, machine learning and deep learning, helps the machines to understand things. Robotics helps these machines to feel like a human, and that's where these humanoids and human robots are coming into picture. Computer vision, while computer vision is the key to this whole artificial intelligence system, because computer vision teaches machines how to look at things like a human would do. If you look at a picture, how would you infer whether there is a car or whether there is a road in front of you, right? And that's where these auto-driving cars and self-driving cars are one of the biggest implementation of computer vision. So that's where this whole things come together to create artificially intelligent systems, and that's what we call as artificial intelligence. A lot of people say machine learning and artificial intelligence is the same thing, while you can now correct them by saying that artificial intelligence is a concept, while machine learning is a way of achieving artificial intelligence. Machine learning is not artificial intelligence, or robotics itself is not artificial intelligence. These are different techniques to create an artificially intelligent system. That has to be very clear with you from today onwards.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
And what's the trend of technology these days? So we have found this data, and the you can see on the top we have AI and machine learning, and you can see it is of very high in demand, and it's also going to be in high demand for next 7 years from now, followed by analytics and other things like blockchain and cloud computing.
So AI is the first choice for most of the people that participated in this study, and that's where you can see the blue bar and on the largest scale for AI, and that's where it is the first choice for any professional that jumps into this particular market. They look out for AI today as a first option. And this one is very important. When you see this graph, it tries to tell you the unmet demand, or the difference between the supply and demand for data scientists. And this is very important, right? Because if you see the lower arrow, or lower curve, it's what the supply of data scientists is today in the market. And if you see the upper curve, or the blue colored curve, that gives you the kind of demand that is there in the market for these artificial intelligence systems. And who will create those kind of systems is where the data scientists, the machine learning engineers come into picture. And that's where we have to uh, utilize this unmet demand. The potential that is there in the market for AI is huge, and still I believe only 10% of it has been covered. There's still 90% of it that has to be utilized and consumed by everyone that is there, and who are aspiring to be a machine learning engineer, or a data scientist. For you, this is the golden era, I would say. This decade that has started 2020, it is going to change the world in different ways. We are already seeing that, and machine learning and AI is something that is definitely going to be a part of this decade's revolutionary changes that are going to come in. So I would say, gear up and be ready, so that you'll be able to you know be able to help out the market by skilling up yourself, reskilling yourself, and getting ready for what's coming up.
So till now, we had seen the definition of AI, definition of machine learning, the different types of AI, and I hope it would have given you good understanding. Maybe the picture before would have been blur, but it should have got a bit of clarity till now. So let's now look at some demos of how AI is working in which different fields. So if you look at this example, this is an example of object detection. And can you tell me, till now, based on your understanding, maybe in the comments, can you tell me in which era do you think it falls? In which type of AI do you think this example would particularly fall? So can you tell me, Raj? I'm on a different screen.
Oh yeah, I believe there are good amount of answers coming in, and most of them are trying to say it might be or it is computer vision. Some people are saying, Manoj is saying super AI. I'm not sure what super AI is. I have never heard about something like that. But definitely, this is computer vision, where you teach the machine how to look at a picture or a real life environment and to understand what is there in front of it. And that is where, this particular example shows you the image on the left as an input and the image on the right as an output of the machine learning model, where you give the image as an input to the machine learning model or the computer vision model, and post the processing, the model has created these boxes around the different objects it identified and gave it a name and a confidence score as well. So when you say sofa and 0.97, it says it is 97% confident that it's a sofa image over there. And similarly for the potted plant or the chair and others as well.
Yeah. So these days, so there are pre-trained models as well, which are already trained on this data, and you can just consume them, and you will be able to get this kind of results. So you will do. So we also call them as classes. You can see sofa, potted plant, chair. We call them as class, and then this is their confidence score. So if it's saying that 97% of to this sofa, maybe it had learned or it had got this data a lot, and that's why it is very sure of it. And then you can also see these days that AI is generating human faces, and this data which we are showing you right now, they are not real human, while these faces are generated by AI. And they resemble. So what would happen behind it is it would have been trained on certain images, and then based on it, it has created own image, own human face image. So these are not human beings, but they are generated by AI. These faces are generated by AI, and there are several examples of it coming these days. And this art, if you which you are looking at right now, this art is generated by AI. How it would have learned from the other open arts, open data out there, and then based on that, it mixed up all its learning and created an art of itself. So this is also possible, this is also popular these days, and each thing is so, everything till now we have seen, they are related to images, so you can say they are part of computer vision as well. And then we can see these days one more example, that videos are been created and the model itself is not a real human being. That is also AI, and it is speaking.
You might want to reshare with audio, Preeti.
Where?
You'll have to stop sharing and share and provide the audio as well over there.
Okay.
So you'll have a small checkbox of share audio when you start sharing.
Got it.
Thanks for joining today's session. This video was generated by a machine learning model. You can also try it out at www.synthesia.io. Happy machine learning, powered by AI Infinity.
Yeah, so this model which you looked, everything, it is speaking, as well as you just have to put the text and then it will speak it with expressions. So how human are different from AI or robots is we have expressions, we have feelings, and we express them in different ways. But if in this you can see that at least expressions are coming up, and even if these days the AI is pitching up, scaling up and up each and every year. So this is, as Raj told, this is a great 2020 onwards, and even I think COVID gave more exposure to AI.
Right. We have seen a different kind of implementations right from when we talk about computer vision in this COVID era. There has been a lot of models that were developed which try to detect whether people are wearing masks in the outside or not. when you go into a store, if you're not wearing a mask, maybe the gates will not open. That's the kind of concept, or that's the kind of reality we are moving into as a world. And as a group of people, we all should be aware of what else is getting changed, right? The earlier images that you saw getting generated by these machine learning models, this video that you saw getting generated by these machine learning models, all come under the category of computer vision. And there's a very specific category called deep fake that is currently very prevalent. You would have seen Obama talking to Osama bin Laden next they're sitting next to each other. That's definitely not a real video. It's a fake video, but it looks really like it is very very authentic, but it is not. That's the kind of reality we are jumping into, and that's where these all examples or demos that we are looking at come into that very very specific category. Please go ahead, Priti.
Yeah, so this music was also generated by AI, and it had been trained on different kind of music beats, and based on that it created its own music. So like how we do, like how we human do, we there must have been some past experience based on which we learn things. So similarly, AI, there are different types of AI. So one part of AI learns based on experience or whatever data has been shared to it. Based on that it creates its own findings, like how we create music or even paintings or anything like that.
So just one point that I wanted to add over here is these machine learning models are like children, right? And they're and when I say children, you could also say that they are newborn babies, right? They don't know anything. You have to teach them each and everything, and whatever you teach them, they remember for the rest of their life. That's the same with us as well. When we were children, and when we grew up, it is based on the experiences that we had, that what we are today. The same concept goes on with these machine learning models. You can think of them as a clean slate, and whatever you write upon it gets embedded into their system.
But as it's a clean slate, so we have to be ethical in doing whatever we are doing.
Right.
So
So
uh,
there is a saying, in machine learning, that says that garbage in equals to garbage out, right? If you teach a garbage data if you teach a model with garbage data, you'll get a garbage model. And if you teach a model with the best data that you have, you'll get the best model that's possible in the market.
yeah, even if whatever problem you are trying to solve, we are using AI for good. So that has always been part of this AI community, that let's use AI for good.
Right.
And this is a summary, like how we can, so what was done here is it's called a word cloud. And what was done here, a paragraph was given to the machine learning model and it find out the important words out of it, and it represented in a pictorial format. So if I would like to know what is important out of a paragraph, or what this paragraph or this summary is all about, this picture can very much tell about it. And this part of machine learning, we can call it as, so whatever is related to text, that that part of machine learning or AI is referred as natural language processing. And let's look at certain market facts about AI. So the market and market forecast says that AI is to be valued up to 2.46 billion in was
Just give me a moment,
yeah,
please, Priti. I'll mute everyone.
yeah.
Okay, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself now. You'll have to unmute yourself, Preeti.
So certain market facts about AI. So everyone knows about the power of AI. That's why that after doing the research, people are saying that by 2025, the market will grow up to 190 billion. Earlier in 2018, they estimated it's going to be like 21 billion, but now you can see, as COVID is also driving everything, the acceptance and the need of accepting AI has gone up.
Right. And this is a very important metric that we're looking at, right? From 21, just 21 billion to 190 whooping billion is a huge jump that the market has given, and it is also because of today data being very much available. AI has been there since 1950s or 40s, right? But it
Yeah,
has not yet been adopted in the market just because we did not have enough data at that point of time. Today, with these emerging technologies, these mobile phones and the different social media apps or different kind of technology adoption, you you see different technologies coming, right? Big data was a need of the market because you had so much of data, you were not able to handle it with the traditional systems. Now if you have so much of data, to get the best out of or to get the best value out of these data sets is to use AI. And that's where you see this drastic change of the valuation of the AI industry in just a matter of 7 years.
almost 100%. And also, if you would have been seeing that autonomous vehicles have also grown in these years, and the market is also growing.
Today, who doesn't know Elon Musk and Tesla, right? They're rewriting history with AI in all their different products. Either you talk about SpaceX or Tesla, both are driven by AI only.
Yeah. And most products which you are using these days, they are using AI. So if any website you use to buy stuff, they are recommending you things that's based on AI. They are referring you that this product you might like, that is AI. And even if, like, while sending someone an email, Gmail itself suggest you that this is what you should reply to, or this should be your reply to this email. That's also AI. So AI is right now everywhere. Even like the filters which we add to our different social media apps, that's also AI. So AI is everywhere, and if something is everywhere, then it's better to we should accept it rather than opposing it. And what's the future of AI? So this data we have taken from a source Statista, and they are saying that the revenue, which by 2025, it's going to be around for 8,000 million for this static image recognition and classification. So it is talking about different types of AI. So the different the types of AI which we saw, these are like subfields of it itself. So you can see that image recognition and classification is a part of machine learning. Or let's not confuse, but these are types of different subparts of AI. And then algorithm trading, that's also increasing these days, as trading has been like an essential, and people are also accepting it. And then why not apply AI? And then that market is also around 7,000 million. And like efficient scalable processing of patient data. So it has covered all
So
the
these are
segments.
these are different places where AI has been implemented drastically, and these segments have gotten value out of AI, right? So AI is huge, and when you start your journey with AI, you have to make sure that you take one step at a time. Try one kind of AI today, maybe something else tomorrow, right? These are something that has already been proven in the market, and that's where you see the kind of the dollar amount in millions for each kind of use case, you could say,
Yeah,
that
of
that we're
different
looking at.
industries. These
Right,
are
different
all different
industries.
industries.
When you see the third number, when you talk about patient data, this is very particular to the healthcare industry. Today, healthcare, banking, these industries are reaping the real benefits of AI, and that's where other industries are also getting motivated and inspired by them to start and adopt AI very quickly in their own systems as well.
Yep. Even you can see here automated geophysical. So you can see that even in geology also it has been adopted, and social media is also already using it, and in cyber security also it's been using, and even in cloud also it's been used to even in cloud it's been used to predict what nodes are going to fail, predicting all these things. So everywhere we want to do an analysis to save our cost, and if we do analysis, we will use AI also to make the decisions, to make the predictions basically.
Right.
And everything has been there has been statistics before, but statistics, we had some data, but now our data has gone up, so we have to use AI, like, to build, to handle those huge data and to make something out of it. And what are the different job profiles in AI? So till now we have seen what are the types of AI and what the definition of AI we have seen. We have seen the what the market says about AI. You must have got certain facts, and now if you have a certain conversation about AI with someone, you should be able to say some facts by your own after this webinar. Now, there also appears that there are several profiles out there of AI. Let's discuss about them. So, there are some people who are like scientists or robotic scientists. So, they are basically related to robotics field. They are mainly around the human robots or human-like robots in terms of their capabilities. So that is also one field which uses AI, because it's not only the data scientists or machine learning engineers which you hear, but there are several other profiles also. There are big data engineers which are handling tons of data, and they also use AI. Even in the big data platforms which we have, they also need AI. So big data engineers are also using AI. Then business intelligence people who are showing what the business is doing and how it's going to be performing. All these facts, all these platforms, whatever they are using, they are also using AI at also, even like a third party, or they majorly have it.
Right. These are, again, on a very high level. The nomenclatures might change across organizations for these different profiles, but definitely these few set of people, they are the ones, that generally enable AI in an organization. So
Yeah.
unless you have the right set of people and the right set of, responsibilities distributed between them, it is difficult to handle it out. And that's where you will see the different roles, and each and every role has their own respective job to perform, right? So when we talk about AI, a lot of people, just talk about being a data scientist, right? But a data scientist is not doing real machine learning, right? Data scientist has much more bigger issues to solve around data, doing data analytics, doing data, pre-processing, post-processing, and understanding the data, right? That's what data scientist does. While the machine learning engineers are the ones, who really are on the ground, building the model from scratch, taking the data from data scientists, taking the intelligence from the BI developer, and taking help from each and every other team members, right? That's where these guys complement each other and enable this whole AI journey.
Even the definitions or the roles which we are saying, there is a role changes in data scientist and machine learning engineer, and even in big data engineer. So it depends upon organization and their definition of or their need behind the role. So data scientist, we seen, then ML engineer. So they are like, some data scientist majorly deals with data and also makes some predictions, whereas ML engineer mostly deals with making models. And product manager, if he is uh, part of a AI product, then he's also expected to know AI, about how to create models and things around data. And if you are there's also a research scientist, so these people research around what's already there. They know the math and everything, and they can create new algorithms. So you must have seen that every day different algorithms, different new innovations are happening. So they are majorly the researchers which are doing it. And whereas the others can also do, definitely, but that's how the job field is. So we saw different profiles in AI.
Right.
But how can you transform your career to AI? So AI, we saw the fact says that it's everywhere, and this is the right time also, because everyone is accepting it. So what you can do is basically, if you are a student right now, and then what you can do, you can start participating in Kaggle. There are several competitions around there. You can start building your portfolio, and then once you feel that you are good enough, then maybe that can be shown to your future organizations. Even if you are experienced, then also you can create a Kaggle profile of yourself and participate in some competitions. Why? Because competitions give you a problem to solve, and if we have a problem, then our mind starts thinking of the solution, and then we learn a lot from it. If we will then, otherwise we will always be waiting for a problem to come to us. Whereas in Kaggle, you can find several competitions running around. Even if you feel that you don't have good knowledge, that's okay. You can just give it a try. Even like people are right now in LinkedIn or on YouTube, they are sharing contents around AI. So you can build your profile. You can show people, even if you are at the very beginner stage, you can still show people, and then it will motivate you to learn more. So you definitely, it's a big plus for everyone, even if you are student, even if you are experienced, because that's how you can tell people, or that's how it can be validated that you know AI. And you can also research around AI if you are into education, if you are very good at the maths, and if you have really interest about building your own algorithms, then you can become an AI researcher as well. It depends. If you are a student, then also you can move towards that end, or if you are experienced but this interests you a lot, then you can move towards this end. Whereas we have seen these days that there is every job opening these days needs AI. Yeah, I have myself seen various job openings, job trends, what's happening. I see that from product manager to project manager to uh, Java developer to a web designer, everyone, they are asking about AI. So to know AI is going to be plus. So even if you have very good amount of experience, maybe you're very in high range of your experience, even at that point of time, you can know maybe functionally about AI. If you don't want to know technically about it, but maybe functional knowledge of AI is going to help you, and you can solve more complex business problems at also in your own organization. If you know AI, you can probably suggest them, this is what you should do, or this is where we should apply AI. You can lead your organization's journey towards AI. If you are an very experienced professional, then you can definitely do that. So before doing all of these things, you have to know some idea of it. You have to know AI before doing all these things. So what we can do here? So basically, we have this, this is our course design for machine learning, where we will be teaching around Python, the data types, and what are the different functions, whatever will you need to do machine learning, everything around Python will be told to you. And why Python, that's also we will share you why we are just using Python, why not R or other languages. If you are not aware, then R is also one of the language which people use for AI, and Python is also one language, but it is preferred more. This why around it, it has a certain discussion to be done. Then what are different types of data? What is the life cycle of machine learning? So as every project has a life cycle, machine learning also has a life cycle, and it has to be followed in that way. So what is the life cycle of machine learning? It can help you, because if you are trying to pick up a problem, you have to follow the life cycle so that you give the best result. And how you would be approaching the data, every data has a different approach. If it's a text data, it will have a different approach. If it's image data, it will have a different approach. So how would you approach that data? It depends upon it. And then how you can visualize it. If you see these days, or even usually, like visualization tells a lot more about, if I say that I have 100 rows of data, if I show you the data distribution, and if I like if I just write it in one line, then I think the visualization will give you more understanding. That's why everyone needs visualization to make better uh, business decision as well. So visualization, and then what are the different types of machine libraries for machine learning, and the different types of machine learning, like classification and regression and unsupervised learning. And we will be discussing about the algorithms derivation, because derivation is an important aspect when, if you are want to transition into a developer role, basically as a data scientist or as a machine learning engineer, then this is asked a lot in the interviews. And or implementation is always there, like how you will implement these algorithms and how would you deploy. So these are very, we thought based on our experience, as we have thought this is like very important things to know for everyone. There are certain good to know things like algorithm derivations for developers, but if you are even on a very high level of your experience, all this will help you in beginning your journey of AI.
Right. When we are looking at this whole slider, right? The kind of course structure that you're looking at. Uh, this is not going to be only theory, and that's where we are saying that even if you are a developer, it's you're obviously definitely welcome. Even if you're not a developer, if you're on a higher role, right, still you are welcome, because this whole training or this whole engagement is going to be an implementation based learning program. When I say implementation based learning program, we have tons of use cases that we are going to talk to and that we're going to solve together, right? We are, and those all use cases are going to fit into your resume, so that next day when you go forward and you apply somewhere for a machine learning engineer role, for example, you would have data sets, you will have proof points to back up what you are trying to achieve. So if we go to the next slide, you will be able to see what all kind of use cases are we trying to solve in this course. And as we are seeing, right, we have these almost 7 or 8 use cases that you are looking at, right from the COVID-19 tweet sentiment classification. That's a very new use case that you can say, based on the era that we are in. We are also trying to do different kind of news category classification, or spam email, or whether a credit card person would default on his credit card payment or not. How would a house price change in the coming years for particular place? Given the past history of a student, how could he predict his marks that is he is going to achieve in his final exams? And then again, we are gonna so these are again some kind of classification problems, some regression problems, and last two examples that you are looking at is unsupervised learning problem, where either you talk about bank customer behavior, or country, based on country data, how many analytics can we get in. This is the whole course approach that we are having. And the key thing that I would tell you, that each and every day we will take one of these problems in our hand, we will solve them from scratch, and we'll solve it together. And you will have all the details around how do you solve a problem like that, so that post the training you will have all the confidence and all the tools and utilities in your bag to support that yes, you have a machine learning experience. And that's where this whole training is planned around an implementation based or an experience based learning approach, rather than a theoretical based learning approach that we don't follow.
Yeah, and even the use cases which we have written here, if we find more interesting use case, we will be using them. Because what we want is the use case has to be interesting, and so that we all are deriving towards it. And then what will be your benefit if you do this? I know there are several courses out there, several trainings out there which teach you AI, and then, but what comes out of it when you have done the training? What comes out of it? Are you still looking for how to solve this? Then that's not a good approach. That's what our even our students have said in the beginning, that after doing the bigger courses, they are still struggling with what's AI, how should I approach the problem. I think the major problem lies on how should you approach a problem. If someone tells you that this is what I want to, this is the problem, then how should you approach it? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to answer this: how should you approach, what all steps you should take. That's why we call this course as a project driven or an implementation driven. So we will be picking up a problem, we will be trying to solve it right from the beginning. That is, how would you look at the data, what are you going to first of all, you will need to understand the data, and there are several steps inside it. I can't say in words. That's what machine learning life cycle will fall into. So we will be following all those steps so that you are aware of what happens. It's not just like I'm just taking, I have got the data, now I'll just import some libraries and the model will be created. No, there are much more steps involved in it. Then we will be having weekly assignments. So assignments are important for you so that you are thinking of a problem on yourself. Even if it's not correct, that's okay, but we want you to try. And we see it gives a very great result if you try these assignments yourself, and you will also become a part of community these days. And even before, like we were in college, if we are trying to study anything in group, we always get better result, while if we are trying to do something alone, not sure if we are going to get that much amount of learnings from whatever we are reading.
Right.
So we will.
Collaboration is the key. Sorry
Yes.
to cut you there. So collaboration is the key, and definitely we believe in collaboration, and communication is the way to achieve collaboration. That's where this community will help you to communicate and collaborate with all the members of our previous batches and the current batches as well, so that you can
Yes.
all discuss your doubts, your queries, and any kind of even no question is right or wrong. So we should never be ashamed of asking any question anywhere, right? Even if you feel that it is silly, but still you should ask, because that's what you're here for. You're there for learning, and we are there to help you out. And that's what the community helps each other with. Also, we are also having hackathons in this training program. Post we cover a substantial amount of our training based on very specific segment that we solve business problems with. We will organize hackathons as well for all the students that we have, and there are cash prizes to be won in these hackathons. And when I say cash prizes, it's a whooping amount, that you will be getting if you participate and if you win the hackathon.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I would like to put it out there in your minds. And this is going to be very interesting, because you will get a problem. You'll have to start coding the problem from scratch. We'll begin in the morning, and by evening we will finalize and decide who is the winner of this particular hackathon as well. And again, this is not just going to be one hackathon. There can be multiple as well, depending on the
Depending upon
kind
the
of, yeah,
response. Yeah.
right, the kind of response that we get from you guys.
So I think in this course, if you are on, if you be on your higher side of energy, then you are going to get a lot and you are going to learn a lot.
Right. We also interview our top students, and we post them on social media to boost their profiles, and make sure that they are getting recognized and highlighted in the market with our social media platforms. And definitely last but not the least, our top students are our freelance professionals as well. So we use our top students to do some kind of freelance implementation projects, and they get paid a very handsome amount based on the project that they're working in. So you can also look out for that. Watch out for these kind of offers. And if you perform very well, if we see the spark in you, we will nurture you. We will increase your knowledge around it as well, and we will also use you to implement and deliver these projects, where you will learn by implementation, and you will earn by implementation as well.
Also, it will give you good experience. So if you are like right now beginning with AI, so maybe this kind of side projects, if you are really well, then these kind of side projects or these kind of opportunities will enhance your knowledge.
Right.
And if you're really doing well, then maybe you will be part of our team, like how we said that we have 50 plus members in our team, then you can also be part of it. So the benefits of it are, these are what we have discussed, and this is in comparison to the other courses which are out there, that you will be part of our community, you will be part of our freelance services, we will be interviewing you, we will be showing you, will be, if you're really well, and then you can also get a chance to win the prizes of hackathon if you are a winner. So what's the prerequisite if for this course, for ML basics course? So you should have at least knowledge of one programming language, because we want you to be aware of what are variables, what are loops, what are functions, why do we need them, all these things, so that nothing is new to you. But even if for a certain amount of time, that is fine, but you should be aware of all these things. And then we will be having the training sessions and the doubt clearing sessions Saturday or Sunday for 4 to 5 hours, and this course is going to be for 6 to 7 weeks. And what can you expect after 6 to 7 weeks? It totally depends upon how you have performed. We will try to give We will try to make you as engaging as possible, and you can achieve a lot with it. You will be able to approach any machine learning problem after taking the course. That is for sure. You would like to add here?
Sure. So that's where we are bringing up this machine learning basics course for the minimal amount of rupees 4,599 only, INR. And this is to note, if you see the lower half of the screen, if you bring a friend of yours, if you refer them, you do get a 10% discount also in this whole thing. And again, it is not about the monetary value that we're looking at. It is about the value of the whole journey that you're going to embark upon with AI Infinity and
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah, definitely.
So I have spammed the WhatsApp details in the chat. I would request each and every one of you to join this group, connect with the admins of the group, and make sure that you do connect back to us. Tell us your feedback, comments, or if you have any questions or doubts as well, you can ask right away. Also, you can
Yeah.
unmute yourself, and if you have any questions around what we discussed today, please feel free to ask.
We are open for questions. You can put in chat or you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. And if you're shy, definitely you can go ahead in our WhatsApp group and connect to the admins. Avinash will be there definitely. I will also be there, so we can talk over there as well. Any kind of doubts, clarifications that you need, you can definitely post in this WhatsApp group and get them clarified also.
Yes, so if you are really interested in this course, we have told you what are the benefits. The benefit is much more than learning AI. Obviously, learning AI is our goal, but you are going to get much more than that. And if you are interested in the course, kindly join this WhatsApp group which we have created, and you can ask your queries, whatever you have, and then soon you can show your interests so that we will be able to proceed from there. And don't forget that if you refer your friend, if he joins, you get a 10% offer on the value. So I see that no questions are out there. We will wait for your questions in the WhatsApp group. Now the call to action after this is kindly join the WhatsApp group, ask your queries, and show your interest in the course. From there, we will be taking it ahead.
Right. We are opening the registrations from today itself, and we look forward to your participation. Our planned start date is 4th of July, and we are planning to start the batch from 4th of July itself. So make sure that you come with your doubts, your questions, and let's clarify them on the WhatsApp.
Yeah, share it with your friends.
Yeah, and we will also share the YouTube recording video of this whole session. That will be available, and you could also share that with your friends so that they can get their doubts cleared before they enroll in the session.
So Raj,
Hi, Raj.
Yes, please, Navya. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have one question, Raj, here.
Mhm.
You have shown multiple models in computer vision, right?
Mhm.
So, for example, if we take that music generation, right? So you are giving an input of different kind of beats, right?
Mhm.
So from that, it is recognizing and doing this music generation. So like that, you have shown one video that is generated by AI. So
Mhm.
what kind of input you need? I mean, we need to give for making those video kind of thing. Why? Because nowadays we can see a lot of videos are coming up in LinkedIn, especially. So that is for some or father or mother who are not there
Right.
with
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
right?
that we have
Yeah,
seen.
that was a sentimental thing. So I can see a lot of videos on that. So what kind of input will be giving?
So they are basically learned basis on the image. Images are passed to them as input, and based on that, they
Mm-hmm.
create their own image, or and then they also add animation to it. So there is a
Okay.
separate sector that is GAN, that has been a bit of highlight this year and maybe from the last year. So that is a separate section, and all these things where animation is added, and also like making the paintings and all these things, they are of that particular field, that is GAN.
Okay.
So GAN is a very advanced segment and a very recent segment, or expansion of AI
Yeah.
in the market, and that's where you are going to see all these different implementations. And obviously, it is data intensive, right? What you see is what you have given to the model, right? That has to be understood. So if we are looking at music being generated, that means music was given to the model as training. If you see
Yeah.
images being generated, images were given to the model for training. So that's the whole key to it.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Sure. I think there was another question as well from someone else. Please feel free to unmute yourself.
And guys, if you want to know about this course, anything, or if you want to join the course, you have to join the WhatsApp group. The link we have provided in the chat. Please join it. All the details of how you will be enrolling for the course, everything will be shared in that WhatsApp group. So kindly join that.
Raj, one more question on the course.
Mhm.
So it will be on a daily basis or a weekly basis?
Uh,
So how it will be?
it's weekends only, and that's where if we go back quickly, either Saturday or Sunday, we have a fixed duration of duration that we will be doing this training for. Uh,
Okay.
that will include training plus doubt clearing sessions as well.
Okay. Okay, then fine.
This
It
is
will be good for
very well, yeah,
professionals, right? Who are
Yes.
already
definitely,
working. Yeah, that's why I
definitely,
asked.
yeah, right, right,
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
sure.
And it's really a useful session. And thank you for conducting this.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
Yeah.
for the feedback, Navya.
Yeah.
We will also share this recording with you all in the WhatsApp group. That's why we are emphasizing that you all join the WhatsApp group for all the updates that's coming up for around it.
Yes, that will be very useful.
Sure. Okay, guys. Last call. Any questions from anyone else? Okay, I see Philojits picking up or pushing hands, but I think we are good. We will again connect on WhatsApp if you have any other queries, guys. So over to you, Preeti.
Yeah, I think the call to action is join the WhatsApp group, and there everything will be shared with you, even the recording and all the further details to enroll.
Okay, thanks a lot, everyone.
I think Avinash, would you like to add something over here?
Yes, please, Avinash. I'm really sorry we did not call you for so long.
Hi Raj, hi Preeti, hi everyone. Uh, yes, it was a very beautiful webinar. We all enjoyed it, and I totally believe you will carry this training like this only, and we'll be surely looking forward to the training. Thank you.
Perfect. Perfect. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today, and we will catch up with you guys soon in the training, and we'll talk more about it when we start off. Thanks a lot, and have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Happy weekend. Take care. See you there in the training.
Thank you.